Stream, remove, hide. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome back to Mama's East Texas Kitchen. Boy, we got some stuff to talk about. Hold on. My camera is crooked and that drives me insane. That's a little better. How is everybody doing? We got uh, Built on a Rock Homestead is in here. I think my husband's in here somewhere. Yeah. Say something if you're in here, honey. There is Miss Kendra. Kendra, Marco your dad and tell him that mom's live. Oh my goodness gracious. It has been hot. Triple threat firearms and defense. Hey, welcome to the channel. You're on your wrong deal, honey. So currently right now, let me go back. Currently right now it is, see if I can 90 I'm not good at this. Oh, it's 99 with a feel like of 105. Hey, Christy, welcome. We are DJ Immortal's my husband. I don't know why he's on his other account, but and really this is one of the cooler days by noon. My husband and I were talking last night and we said, it's pretty bad when you're like, oh, it's only going to be 100 today. It's just been absolute miserable. So today's live stream, I want to talk about some of the there he is. I want to talk about some of the things that we're doing to stay cool. I don't know if you can see back there. I have on my in my windows here in my office. This is my office area, craft room, whatever you want to call it, a little bit of both. This is my woman cave. I often joke and say I'm going to the cave. We have put aluminum foil on all the windows. Hey Jacob, how you doing, sweetheart? Because I've got a little bitty window unit in here, but when it was hitting, 114 feel like temperatures, it was just miserable in here. This house is old. I mean, I've told y'all that it doesn't have a lot of insulation. So I told my husband, I said, let's foil all the windows in here. It is. My mom's the one that painted it yellow. Yellow is her favorite color. So that's just one way. Yes. Does it look a little redneck? Absolutely. But this is at the back of the house. So it's not like it is too obvious, but I wouldn't care when it comes to staying cool. I will tinfoil the windows all day long. I've been doing that probably all my adult life in houses that I didn't have central heat and AC. Because that's one of the main things you can do is darken your windows. The blackout shades work really well too. One of the other things I wanted to mention, if y'all haven't seen last week's video, please go check that out. I was pretty proud of it. I did some new techniques that I haven't done before. So, and I'm talking about you don't want to be a damsel in distress. Talking about women and what we need to do to prep, be prepared, all those fun things. I talked about firearms, just the whole gamut of different things. So if you haven't seen the video, please go check that out. That was probably one of my favorite videos vlog style that I've done on my channel. So I'm curious. Yeah, it's ridiculous, the heat. Somebody, I was talking to Crystal from Copper Kettle Farm this morning, and she said, "It seems to me you guys are hotter than you have been." I said, "Oh, absolutely. This is yeah." I said, "This has been one of our um hotter summers for dang sure, and it's very dry, and there have been cities around us that have put in." Water restrictions. We haven't yet, but um, there there has been counties that have done it. We are on a burn ban right now, and so it's just been miserable. Now, where my son lives, if y'all don't know, John Shepherd's my son. His name's Jacob. That's his. What would you call that? Your identity name. And I think they've gotten more rain than we have. I have watched 2 days in a row that rain went on either side of us, and it's a little frustrating. So here's the things that we're doing. One of the main things, if nothing else, stay hydrated. Papa and I are both drinking one a day, and I usually don't drink a lot of Gatorade. Um, this is the Gatorade Frost. It is really good. It's probably my new favorite. And yeah, here too. So we've been drinking this. Now I had posted in my newsletter in July a way to make homemade electrolyte drink. If you are not signed up for my newsletters, be sure and do that. I don't go to some other videos and there's a link. I forgot to put it in this one this morning. Yeah, and see, down there where Kendra's at, she's in a town just north, about 30 minutes north of where we lived when we lived down in Conroe. We didn't get temps like that. The entire 16 years I lived down there, we did not get temps like that. Now, it is a lot more humid down there, obviously, because it's only about 80 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. But we didn't get 103-degree days, or if we got one or two in the summer, but that was it. They have consistently been 103, 105, feels like in the, you know, 112, like she's saying. Here it's been 101, 100. The highest we have gotten is like 107 with a feel like of 115. And you just, I know it's every day, and you cannot get all the stuff you need to get done. There's a lot more you have to worry about. We have our chickens, and so I've been giving them cantaloupe and watermelon, especially during the hottest part of the days. I also, when I put them up at night, because it's not cooling down, it's still in the hundreds when I put the chickens up at night. I'll take my water hose and not spray them, but spray up to the top of their run where it kind of mists down on them, trying to just cool them off. So far, so good. They have been troops. And honey, I forgot to bring them in here, but we have gotten our first two eggs. I am so stinking excited that we have gotten two eggs. Um, I've got three hens. I think I'm only getting the eggs from one chicken. She was I think a couple of weeks older than the other two. So I'm hoping pretty soon that that'll kick in. I'm curious, what are you guys doing to try to stay hydrated, trying to stay cool? I'd love to hear from you guys, and what is y'all's game plans been to try to beat the heat? Yeah. Kara, we had back in 2000, it's a year before I had Kendra. You know, there's something about your area, Paul, that I'm like, it might not be such a bad thing. Except y'all get really cold winters too, don't you? I'm really excited. We haven't ate them yet. I'm thinking about doing a ice cream and water. And honestly, yeah. I mean, well, we have a a little bitty AC in here. I'd like to actually get a bigger one. And then we've got one in the bedroom, and then we've got a big one in the living room. And it doesn't keep the whole house cool. I mean, we are really just kind of shutting things off and keeping, you know, like the office and the bedroom shut. And then the living room one, we let that kind of blow into the kitchen, so it's just not, so basically, so my food don't run. We've just got a our electric bill, gosh, went up to 200. And I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, did you bring the eggs?" Okay, these are our eggs. It may be two different chickens because this one's darker, but they're little bitty eggs. So, I mean, I've been told that the first eggs are little, that they, huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been holding them in the run a little bit longer in the mornings, trying to get them to lay in the coop and not wherever. I do have some ceramic eggs, and it's working so far. So, good grief, Paul. That's warm for you guys, right? Y'all don't normally get that hot, if I'm thinking correctly. I have started doing that too. Ramblin' Rose, and welcome to the live stream. Hey, Howie, how you doing, hun? I put water bottles, freeze water bottles too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think Europe got that hot, or at least that part of Europe. It's just crazy, and I don't think I think we're past the point to say that climate change, whether you think it's a just a natural cycle the Earth goes through or it's man made, but it is happening one way or the other. So I think it's really important, that we do what we can do and find ways to be able to stay cool. You know, because my fear in a say an off-grid situation that you didn't have solar or something like that, and we don't right now, you would be in serious trouble with these kinds of heats. um, Texas has probably not been be your first guess. And what part of DFW is? Let me get my, oh, come on, come back here. I want to make sure I get your name right. Yeah, Ramblin' Rose Cottage. What part of DFW? My husband's from Louisville, and where we're at. We're northwest of the Metroplex, about an hour south of Wichita Falls. Yes, thank you. Give me those thumbs up. That sure does help me. I did want to show you a couple things I've been working on. As a lot of you know, I opened up an Etsy store. The link is pinned up the top of the comments. I have made these little bags. This one's got kind of two different granny squares. I really kind of made this out of scrap yarn just to try the pattern. And then this one, when it's full, it has a flat bottom and will set. They make great little gift bags and different things. I haven't got them up on the store yet. That's going to be happening later this week because I'm working on another color to put up too. Um, so been working on those. Then I've got, remember the little ring deals I was showing you, this is a topper. I haven't sewed the button on, that's why I'm holding it, but it'll have a little daisy. And I've got different colors, but it's got a ring in here that you put your towel in, and then that goes on top of it, so it looks like it's connected to the towel. That's also going to be going up later this week. I've got that one up. I've just got to get the bags and stuff up. I love you too, sweetheart. You try to stay cool. I know it's hot working in that booth. My son works for Murphy's gas station, and it gets really hot. I'll worry about anybody. Have y'all? Oh, squirrel here, but it's kind of on the same lines. There was a UPS driver in California that died of a heat stroke doing deliveries. It really irks me that the UPS vans and the even the most of the mail carriers do not have air conditioning in their vehicle, and I think that's irresponsible of these companies or the post office with heats like this. I remember when I worked in the office in Conroe at the church, we'd have cold water ready to give our postman because he just parked the truck and did walks. It wasn't a stop at each one because we didn't have outside post box. We had them on our front door, and so we keep cold water in our little mini fridge to give him, the UPS driver, and those folks when they come in. And the reason I bring this up, if you're like me, I order a lot from Amazon, mainly so I don't have to drive anywhere or in different places, not just Amazon, but a lot of Amazon and different deals. If I can catch the drivers out there and give them a bottled water, we have a friend that lives in Conroe. Her husband drives for UPS. Yesterday, Kendra, I'm talking about Stephanie and shoot, I just lost his name. I'll think of it probably after laughs. Anyway, Stephanie's husband works for UPS. She said yesterday he went through 15 bottles of water and 2 bottles of Powerade. Yeah, it's crazy. So if you oh, that's weird, Kira. James, thank you. I ought to remember that, huh? Since that's my daddy's name. But and he's a big guy. It's not like he's, like my husband's a skinny guy. He's a big guy. And I worry about these guys. They're out there doing a service for us. Yeah, that's what Kendra was saying, Deborah. Good to see you, hun. It's absolutely insane. These are temperatures that normally would come around, like I said, very late July and August, and maybe the first couple of weeks of September. So I'm just trying to convey to be sure and stay hydrated and stay out of the heat as much as possible. Most of us, or a good chunk of us, have homesteads. Do your stuff very early in the morning or really late at night, because I don't know that anybody truly can condition for this type work. Some of the people, other people I worry about is roadside construction folks, because you just have nowhere to go. And I was telling about 2000, the year before I had Kendra, we had something like 120 days of 100 plus temperatures. It was a really hot summer too. And I worked at the prison, and I was out on the yard giving breaks because we had a set guys that usually women and guys that worked out on the yard. I didn't work out there unless I was roving. And so I had relieved somebody for lunch so they could go eat lunch. And we had water out there, and we had like a pop-up tent thing that you could stand under. All of a sudden I got nauseous. I drank some water, and I threw it up. And I looked over, and there was another gate, that had an officer posted at it, and he was throwing up. Well, about that time, the warden come down range. It was the heat index was like 123 that day, and we're on cement around metal. So you can imagine how much hotter it was. The warden come out of the um, front area down, coming down range, and he called our lieutenant over the radio and said, "You got two officers out here suffering from heat exhaustion. We're locking the unit down. Nobody goes anywhere. I don't want anybody on the yard." And they sent me and the other guy to the emergency room to get fluids, IVs, and get our bodies cooled down. It was just, and ever since then, I don't tolerate heat well. I've always been told if you ever have like heat exhaustion and that kind of stuff, that you don't tolerate well, and I don't. It makes me sick pretty quick. Oh, I don't blame you, Christy. That's insane. And ought to be completely against OSHA. You know, Deborah, I'm thinking about doing that for the chickens. Just, put a little bit of water in it so they can get in there and bathe off. Luckily where we're at, it's very sandy, and they have dug them little holes in all the shady spots where they can get in there and give themselves dirt baths and cool themselves down that way. And like I said, I do the whole misting thing. They're usually pretty wet by the time they get ready for bed. So, but there, I've stopped closing the door that goes into the actual coop part. Yeah, Christy, I'm the same way. I leave that. The run is closed up good, but it's just too hot. If I close that little door, there is ventilation, but I don't think there's enough ventilation. Um, this is that's I think I've told y'all that's one of the main reasons I'm doing Etsy, because I need a bigger chicken coop and a better put together chicken coop. This one was, a cheap one. I think Dad probably bought from off Amazon. It wasn't something I bought. I'd love to be able to build something, but I don't know at the end of the day what's going to be more expensive, trying to build a new coop or trying to um, just get a better constructed prefabbed coop. Um, Around here, you have a really hard time. Around here, you have a really, really hard time finding. Um, I was reading, curious. I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Let me sit up a little bit. Oh, you have a really hard time finding like IBC totes, pallets, anything like that, because we're such a rural area. A lot of Okay, that's good to know, Ramblin' Rose. Thank you. I will definitely look into that. You have a really hard time finding like pallets, IBC totes, and things like that, that a lot of places you can get for free, because around here everybody's farmers, right? Everybody owns animals, everybody. So if you find stuff like that, it's usually not something somebody is just giving away. Now, I could buy some rain barrels and that kind of stuff. Depending on where, $10, $15 a piece. Some of those blue um, barrels. Um, but I can't find anything to get the IBC totes, which I really would like to have about 5 of them and try to capture some of the spring rain and that kind of stuff. But they're just hard to come by. I looked on Marketplace a while ago, and the cheapest one I was seeing, people were selling for like $100. Crystal had recommended to check with some of the water places like city water plants and sewage plants and that kind of stuff, because that's where Donald got hers, was from his work. So I'm going to see what they have. It's just those are like hard commodities to get around here. So yes, I'm still drinking my morning coffee. I will go to Gatorade and water after I finish this cup. I have heard Ramblin' Rose. I've heard of that brand. But I will definitely check them out. Um, I've got to get enough stuff sold. I'm fixing to start advertising my stuff locally as well, to just try to raise money, because right now we everything. Yeah, that's kind of what it's going for here right now. Anyway, right now, every, the money, our regular money we bring in goes towards bills. Our Like I said, our lot bill was $240, and then our water bill was up. And I know that's cheap for a lot of people, the 240, but for us, um, you know, I much prefer have $120, even $150 lot bill. But I compared our two lot bills. Like the month before, our lot bill was $179, and I compared that one to this one. The amount of energy we used had not changed at all. So it's whatever it's the fuel charge that's going up. I'm hoping now that gas is starting to come down just a little bit, that it'll be cheaper next month. So basically we're just staying indoors. A lot of times I've got a big light on right now for the live stream, but a lot of times I just have a little lamp. I've got a kind of a recliner chair over in this corner where I sit and crochet and that kind of stuff, and I just turn that little bitty light on instead of the bigger light. We do have energy efficient bulbs. If that's not something you have done yet, I highly recommend getting the energy efficient bulbs and put them in everything. And just anything like that. The LEDs is what I was trying to think of. They don't put it off as much heat as well. Regular light bulbs tend to put off a lot of heat. So I would definitely be doing that, and just being still. I realize we all have animals, we all have to get out and do stuff, but during the heat of the day, just do what you can do in the house. If you don't have air conditioning, check with local charities, churches, stuff like that. A lot of times they donate fans and air conditioners, window units, and that kind of stuff. So check with them. And I know when you saw Jacob in here earlier, and him and his brothers were little, we lived in a house, we didn't have AC. I mean, we were dirt poor and didn't have two dimes to rub together. My ex-husband delivered pizza for Pizza Hut, and I worked as a nurse's aide. We did opposite shifts, so we didn't have to pay a babysitter. But we just couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford to get a window unit or anything right then. But in the heat of the day, because I worked nights, I'd sleep as much as I could. And then I'd gather the boys up, and we would go. At the time we lived in town, we'd go to Walmart, had a McDonald's, and we'd sit in that McDonald's through the heat of the day. A lot of times communities open up cooling stations. When I lived in Olney when the boys were little, again, we didn't have window units. Um, we would go up. They had a community center that they'd open up, and we'd go up there. They'd have games for the kids, and I'd sit there and let the boys play, and I would read a book, or that was before iPads and cell phones and that kind of stuff. Yeah, churches are great for that. I know they do fan giveaways and stuff here too. The local little churches. Um, I remember, um, my parents or my grandparents that I live in their house, um, getting fans for people and stuff. Right now, fans ain't gonna do a whole heck of a lot unless you blowing the air outside. Now, with that said, I have this fan and I have a little desk fan up here. Oh, there it is. That when the heat of the day, I got both of them going circulating. I don't have them on now because they're kind of loud, and I've already got the AC unit on. So, but yes, air conditioning I think is crucial. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in the late fall months is a lot of times they'll, like Walmart, different places, will put window units on clearance, or they have in the past. We're going to get a bigger unit for in here. And because the one we have in the bedrooms a little bit bigger than this, and it does great. It has the temperature control, type stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Libraries are another good option. A lot of times they'll have summer programs for the kids, and I go hang out at the library. I think it's one of the most unutilized free systems that people don't use. Now, with that being said, I need to go get library cards at the Olney and Graham libraries, because that's a lot of free material too that you can bring home and read, and figure out if it's something, a book that you want to buy. I mean, how many of us have bought a book and thought, dang, I wish I hadn't got that, because there's not much to it. Well, a lot of times libraries will have some of these books that you can go get and look at, so I would definitely be doing that. We're going to, probably tomorrow, we've got to do a quick grocery run, and I may swing by there and get a library card and Graham and just look for some different um, books and stuff. I I've got my video well, I won't say it's going to be a video this week. I haven't decided yet. I've got 2 or 3 different videos that I want to do, but I am venturing into making comfrey salve. Teresa at Stringfield Ridge, she sent me a comfrey root that I planted, so it's not ready to go yet, but I had bought some organic comfrey leaves um, from like Amazon. I mean, they're in the package. So I'm going to do a trial run of making some comfrey salve. My husband and my husband and I are both deal with severe arthritis. So, and I've just heard a lot of people talk about how good that it helps. So I don't know if it'll be anything that'll be ready to put on the Etsy store anytime soon, but I definitely may do a video. But that one's probably going to be a multiple video day thing that I can't do. It'll eventually be one video, but I can't film it in one day, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be fostering any animals unless they're chickens. And then I'm not going to foster them. They'd have to give them to me along with a bigger coop. But um, what I would love to be able to get is a couple of barn cats to put out. But almost afraid if I do that something would get them because we have raccoons and all kinds of stuff that hang out in the barn. Though my chickens think they have to go to the barn that's the first place they go. It's like they have a routine. I let them out of the coop. They have to come to the side of the house and peck around for about 30 seconds and they all hightail it, yeah, that way, out to the barn. And then from the barn, they go over to my folks' house where they've got some holes dug. They've got My parents have got a really big pecan tree right in the front of their yard, and so there's this little corner that they've dug out and they hang out. If I had fencing, I wouldn't mind having a dog. We just don't have the fencing for it right now. The And the cool thing is our neighbors that live just, I mean, right there, they have 6 dogs, 2 guardian livestock dogs. And those dogs will bark at, a duck fart. It don't matter, which is not necessarily a bad thing because I think it keeps predators out of the area, and we're close enough to them that it helps. Also, the neighbor on the other side of my parents, they have um, they have a pit mix anyway. It's a sweet dog, and they keep it pinned up, but it's the same way. It will bark at a duck's fart. So yeah, he would. Lucky, he's not crazy about the heat either. If y'all don't know, Lucky is my 10-year-old mixed breed tabby cat. And he's fat and he don't like anything in his space that he don't think should be there. He lays in the kitchen floor and just lays and sleeps. He don't do anything but sleep and eat. I think if he saw a mouse, he'd probably run from it, but I need some mousers. Yeah, I don't need any dogs. And honestly, right now, it's just something else I'd have to feed. If I got another animal, I'd get me a dairy goat. I really would like to have a dairy goat. See how long it takes my husband to say, no. But um, I don't have the infrastructure. I mean, the shell for where my granddad kept his goats is there, but it needs to be rewired, new fencing put up and that kind of stuff to be able to um, get any goats. But I want dairy goats, because eventually I'm going to venture off into soap making. I've got so many ideas, guys, and so many things I want to do, and it's just me. Absolutely, Christy. That even with the dogs, yes, even people, Deborah. Deborah, don't feel bad. He doesn't like my mother either. Lucky didn't care for Deborah too much, or Deborah didn't care for Lucky too much, and it's my mom's. So we have to like shoo him away when she comes over. Yeah, I told you, no goats. It's gonna happen. Um, but I've just got to get the infrastructure for it. And right now, my main focus is getting a better structure for the chickens. I mean, I don't mind them free ranging, but if I get more than the 4 I have, I'm going to have to put some kind of fencing up and kind of keep them in the yard because that's not fair to any of the neighbors. Yeah, goats are cool. Exactly. Um, you know how much crap he used to talk about the chickens, Deborah. I won't go as far to say he likes the chickens, but he does more than he thought he was going to do with them. And they fall. It's what's funny is he goes out there and they all come running to him and will follow him around. The chickens like him, but I got a rooster that thinks that he has to hop on the girls every chance he gets. Maybe he needs more girls. I don't know, but he's just like, I'm like, really? You just did that to one. You going to do it to the other two? Constantly. Of course, he's a teenager. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Christy. Is I've got to do the chickens first. I've got to get a bigger coop. I want to be able to get. I want to get more chickens. Because I want more than an egg, 2 eggs every day. I really want to beef up egg production because I'd love to be able to sell eggs from the farm. That would ultimately that's what I'd love to do. And then other things, like I said, making the comfrey salves, making the all the crochet stuff. There's just not enough hours. Exactly. That's what how I tried to sell my dad, Christy, was I was like, but that field out there, they could take care of all that. I'm still working on everybody. I think my mother would love it. Mom is all about what I'm about. Daddy and uh oh Papa Z, they're the ones that we got to convince that it's a good idea. Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'll keep my rooster around, just the one, because he really does um watch out for them. I was noticing the other day, he was just outside my window, just a hollering. And I went out there and they were there's a table back here. It's kind of built into the house where Granddad used to, in a sink that he used to clean fish at. Well, they were up under that and him hollering, and I got to looking and there was a hawk flying around. So he's very protective of the girls. He's hasn't been aggressive towards me, or my husband or my parents, which I'm glad, because if he got too stupid, I'd have to turn him into a chicken pot pie. Exactly, Christy. Well, that's how my husband feels anyway. It's like, you're the one that wanted to do that. So, anyway, but y'all stay hydrated, y'all stay cool. Um, I don't, and the other thing is stock up. Um, I and I should have got the link, but you can look on Amazon. They have number 10 cans of freeze dried food. I'm going to be doing a recipe here really soon of what you can do with that stuff. I really, really, really feel like the shortages are going to get worse. There's a yarn shortage, for goodness sakes. Um, and as hot as everything has been this year, I'm afraid that's going to be really hard to um, get some of the fruit and vegetables. Everything, anytime we have like a shortage on something like the baby formula, it takes a little while to use up what's already out there. But once that's used up, I am really concerned. Now, I know I'm not the only one that we're going to be in some trouble, but I'm going to be doing some recipes on how you can use some of the freeze dried foods because I went and I looked on YouTube. That's honestly how I research a lot of my stuff is I'll go to YouTube and type in how to cook with your freeze dried stuff, right? There was very few videos, if any. I have yet to find one, to be honest. I'm sure there's some out there, but what do you do with it? How do you use it? What do you use it in? So I'm going to be making some of those videos. I've got some of my freeze dried stuff already open. So I'm going to be doing some stir fries and different things and show y'all. We don't need a slip and slide around here. My husband and I do it well enough on our own. Okay, one funny story. And if I did, I tell this last week, honey, when I fell in the bathroom. If I did, I won't bore everybody with it. But the other day, I was the our main our big bathroom. We've got kind of a little built-in bathroom that they added so my grandparents could get in a shower versus a tub. Um, but I'll sit on. Usually, I'll take a shower. I'll use that other one. I was sitting on the side of the tub to shave my legs, and when I sat down, I have didn't remove like the little bathroom mat. I sat down on it and that mat slipped and I went flying back. And there's only about that much room in between the toilet and the cabinet, and then about that much room between the cabinet and the tub. I went flat back, hit my back of my head. I don't know if you can still see it. I had a big old bruise that ran across here. So I holler at my husband, and he come in there, and because both arms, they one arm hit the toilet, one arm hit the cabinet. It's probably what saved me from really hurting myself. I'm laying flat on my back with my feet up in the air, and he's like, why are you laying on the bathroom floor? Because I'm a klutz, apparently. I mean, it was just one of those things that you're like, so I'm like, I'm laying there and I'm like, how in the heck am I going to even get up? I am wedged in between the toilet and the cabinet and cannot move. So finally, I was able to push myself back with my feet, put my feet on the tub and push back. You know, I've had reconstructive knee surgery or knee replacement, and it's very hard to like get on my hands and knees for that reason. It was comical. I mean, we should have done a video of me trying to get my fat butt up off that floor and get up. And let me tell y'all what, my back, everything hurt. Deborah, you remember how big, how wide it was in the apartment, the bathroom or the tub? I had a garden tub in the apartment. This, I swear, guys, is about that wide. I've never seen such a little bitty tub. Oh, I, yeah. No, it's funny. That's okay. Teresa, we've just been talking about staying cool in the heat. And I actually, Deborah, I'm 5'5", but still, you know. Oh, trust me, he was laughing his butt off at me. After he made sure that I wasn't seriously hurt, he was dying. He's like, only you would do something like this. And I'm like, just shut up. Oh, the things that, when I'm 49 and a half, knocking on the door 50, and um, it hurts more to fall now than you when you were a kid, right? You fall when you're a kid, you pretty much bounce and you're okay. Not now. You're sore for weeks. Yeah, it's insane. All right, it was 99 when we started. Let's see what it is now. Just in the 45 minutes since we've been online. Let's refresh. Okay. Let's see. Refresh for me. Yeah, it's 99. I feel like 103. So that's where we're at. It's supposed to high today. It's supposed to be 102. So that's a cool down. It gets pretty bad that you're thinking you're getting a cool down when it's only 100 degrees. I know. I was really, my tailbone was really, really sore for a couple of days. I was beginning to think maybe I had cracked my tailbone, which I've done before, but if I did, it wasn't bad and it healed up pretty quickly. But yeah, my back was hurting for several days after that. But anyway, uh, I'll show y'all one more time. Um, this is the new towel top kitchen towel topper. It's got the little thing in here. Got that. It is up on the store. And then the bags. I've got a granny square one. I use the same colors, but I just did them in a different order. I'm going to do some that it's the same on both sides, and then I've got this one. So if y'all would go, if you haven't yet, make my page at least one of your favorites. That helps the Etsy algorithm push me out there. So that always helps. Any support that y'all can give. I'm not sure yet how much I'm going to charge for these. Um, and then it's hard for me to price stuff. I know it's supposed to be the 3%, or what was it? It's three times the what you make, your material and your time. But I am going to. I never charge quite that much, mainly because I'm not buying supplies yet. I have so much stinking yarn um, that I'm working through. My husband and my daughter both can tell you that I have a yarn problem. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. The heat's ridiculous. So stay safe, my friends. I mean, like the UPS driver dropping dead from heat exhaustion. I'm afraid we're going to start seeing more heat related deaths. Listen at her. Just wait. You eventually got to come home at some point, Kendra. I'm going to have all kinds of projects for you to help me with. Get your brother over here and we may build a hoop coop. I've thought about doing that too. Um, I've seen a lot of people do those and they look neat in the amount of chickens you can put in them and that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I definitely have a space problem. Oh, a spice. I read that wrong. I do not need a 12-step program. Thank you very much. You enjoy everything I cook. Fair statement? And the yarn, if my Etsy store gets to going good, exactly. Tell him, Christy, it could be a lot worse. There could be other things. You know, I could have 300 chickens. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Bless you. Have a great day. Stay cool as much as you can. I know it's hard. That's what we're doing here is we are just laying low during the hottest part of the days and stay hydrated. Sign up for my newsletter. I have like I said, an electrolyte drink, homemade, but I drink Gatorade too. We both at least drink one of these a day. So love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us today on Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. Stay safe, stay cool, and we'll see you guys on the next video.